Lynn Axelrod's first chapbook, "Night Arrangements", earned a Kirkus review ("Get It" verdict) and was called evocative and lushly detailed. Her second book, "Lotus Earth on Fire" from Finishing Line Press, 2024, was praised by a poet reviewer as "an unflinching witness to the hungry and the homeless." Lynn's poetry appears in various journals and outlets, such as California Quarterly, Marin Poetry Center's annual anthology, the Orchards Poetry Journal, Sheila-Na-Gig, and the Ekphrastic Review. Her work is anthologized in "Freedom of New Beginnings", poems of witness and vision, and pandemic puzzle poems from Blue Light Press. Her work was featured in the San Francisco Chronicle and is in the Poetry Reading Archive of the James Joyce Library Special Collections, University College in Dublin. Please welcome Lynn Axelrod.
Hi, thank you, Sandy, Shauna, and Monica, for this moment, and to the Aquas Cafe. I've been on open mic several times over the years, so this is really a treat for me. And Deborah, it's nice to be reading with you. I'm going to begin with a poem that is about a Zoom reading. I zoomed into the reading. Crowd listens in Zoom boxes to a rounded poem, illusory life moments, supernal language. But I began to feel we were on a bus, strangers on wobbly wheels, suppressed throat clearing, unmuted, a man in his pajama top, a woman leaning off screen, signaling a pup or picking up lint. I pictured the necklace of ancient snails you gave me. Night dwellers toting spiral homes on their backs, understory lives, still inch dark passages beneath our feet, or surface in daylight on walls, stones, like keys to lost survival skills, spells we wander above, almost severed from earth language. Living in my dark dresser drawer, the necklace sent me home to you and evening bullfrogs across the field, calling females to amplex froggy style in pond shallows. Quick silence as they slipped beneath leaves or mud. In the kitchen, roasting potatoes, purple, red, gold, baked in specks of loamy soil we grew them in, pulled them gently out of. I'm going to read a few poems about world. Thank you. World and world events. This is Surveyors of Night Arrangements, and I should say that my mother's family came to the U.S. from Ukraine. As daily news jolts every compass set spinning, sleepless nights I zag to a tall window, find patterns above, center myself. Grateful stars stay in place, burning, so I may see them. Purple dusk draws them out. Linkage to old family. Surveyors of night arrangements. Stark skies. Shifting blue silence. Always here. Bent knee, not needed. Today I stood with the last Tsar's grand nephew at our town grocery, the Palace Market. Andrew, blue-eyed Romanov, living against cliché, art collective member, paints domestic scenes on shrinky-dinks. We nodded hello. I winked past him like a planet greeting my grandfather, who kept the Tsar's forest healthy, himself alive at royal pleasure. Light, though, impossible to tend as it slips into morning. A sight my old ones feared losing in shut, windowless cells. Quiet birds stare west at daybreak, not confused, just memorizing last stars fading by moonset, maps for long night flights and trails out. This grew out of a photo I saw of an old woman in Ukraine in a wheelchair in the snow alone. Who goes for Ukraine 2022? Nets of dawn flung on flyways, corroded cage doors unlatched. Surely you remember crocus bloom, early days, still frozen grass. What difference to enter a nursery silent while other children drip rubies from their veins through spring snow, or a babushka sits in a wheelchair on a slush road. Dusting the break front glass, dinner set, pepper mill, I learned that Grandpa buried silver under steps in case they ever went back. What if a child reminds a soldier of his sister? What if he hasn't one? Metal to magnet, Praetorian detachment. Something becomes bones, lies in a cold furrow, covered by seeds, waiting for summer. Thank you. Night crossing. They cross the Rio Grande from Piedras Negras to Eagle Pass. River shunts grit, sands legs, scraping black stone bottom. Night water laps hunger. No time for the shallow season. Clutch another's hand and another, rising like weather-beaten prayers, and fall on side-shoving currents. Lift each other past hell drops between boulders. Searchlights scan sand islands where migrant birds scrape beds, lined in bits of shell, pebble, stone. Speckled life holds for a week, yet yet all may wash below. Silence floods across. Or from Sabrata on the Libyan coast, past Malta to Sicily and north, skiffs rock on overload. Voiceless babes in salt air, clot beaches, boats could not land. They say fire is a metaphor. We weren't ready for everything to go. We told some gods we were grateful for what we had, a paltry thing against infernos. We search for lost ones through what remains, cement angels, crazed rock, melted metal cast as pyres, incinerated by refusal electeds dare not explain. Broken voices reached us on ether, discover their own breath, still 98.6, but choked like a ghost with fever. Ash lungs, tea of celestial spider webs, throats clogged, no relief, yellow sky, clouds swirled like ply unraveling, smoldering threads. Brigades of birds shot out, circling alone, nestlings agape, flame-fed calls, frost-woven twigs, brass ephemera destined for indeterminate bone. Blanketed babes wound in arms for cradles, ash where they stopped. Unsifted mix of wool, milk, rain, bleached of sound. Only wind trembles. Twisted trees, charred limbs of fright. Rivers of dust will follow. Swallow trunks, leave glistening stone arbors, twice petrified. Well, moving on, thank you. Moving on to some specific people. This is, funnily enough, called The Nature of This Enigma. And it involves a tragic event that happened to someone about 25 years ago. And I couldn't make sense of it until I read The Swerve by Stephen Greenblatt, which was about the discovery of on the nature of things and how atoms, according to Lucretius, form form life by falling, swerving, bumping into each other, assembling, disassembling. And he was an ancient Roman poet who got onto atoms. The nature of this enigma. If I could mend just the necessary bones, I'd leave the rest where you lay, like refuse thrown from a ladder that slipped one morning, spun you through mist to rocky ground. Yet you returned, evening ghost on the deck in dimming daylight, staring at me to be seen, I know, still in blue work shirt, jeans, empty hand, curved round a missing chisel. Bond unbroken. Was this your message, so hard unspoken? I did not conjure you, could not for this enigma. Rock, bone, paper, blade, rust and dust, no child's game. Your return before dispersal, reconfigured substance slipping through a swirl of memory and quotidian peril. And this is about, I hope you can see this. Well, I don't know if you can. Oh, yeah. This is a little dancer, sculpture by Degas. Little dancer, 14 years old. And her name was Marie van Goethem. Intimate stranger, Marie van Goethem. My lower spine is killing me, traipsing through the National Gallery, temple of culture, all hushed reverence, baked in the paintings, not scrutinized, redrawn, scraped, fretted for, dry brushed, scumbled. We circle Michelangelo's sculptors, slaves, twisting out of lambent marble, scan torsion of flesh and rib, know only how he captured them, forever writhing. Nothing of cages, owners, households, or if they fought in the ring. I know modern day slave descendants. I am one from millennia past. Dare I say this aloud? I own this quantum radiance of their struggle. Raised to admire stone muscle, turning on bone in museums, picture streams of sweat, sheaves of breath, passing Greek gods, Roman leaders, mute as we study chisel marks, abrasions, tools carve illusion real, eyes gouged for pupils, no clues to their thoughts, no purple or red robes, colorless now. Or, as Degas sculpted young Marie, fourth position at rest, real linen sagging, slippers real satin, some things known, poverty and promise, Paris opera ballet, the male gaze, patrons, favors, one day dismissed, too often absent, then vanished. Silent Marie, bronze copies worldwide, almost alive. Uh, in this era of intense scrutiny of media, it's of course needed more than ever. And so this poem is for someone named Dave Mitchell, who is an editor, publisher, investigative journalist. And he investigated under physical threat a violent cult on our coast nearby, ran into intense pressure, pushback because the cult was well connected. And ultimately, he and his team won the Pulitzer Prize and many other awards for their courage and for their refusal to give up. Breaking the cult. In the pearled air, seeds may bud in moist breezes, glide by us already flowering. Wild carrots and blue vervain cross borders, erase artificial lines, like migrant blackbirds descend where they will, to spring grasses. Your news reports circle the cult members, stripped of self, licked by wolves, Children deparented like abandoned fawns. Twisted leader on a wire, orders, rants on radio waves, dropped on them everywhere. Your columns exposed spoils he reaped from decay, untangled the states he said, he said, he said, talk, dead thought, acid tropes. Your persistence freed hostages, planted facts like flags on a spiring hill. We've seen grim beauty of ore tailings, multicolored adrape mountain peaks, minerals sourced from pure iron in hollowed out crust and bedrock, then alloyed into hammers, rifle stocks. Yet iron inhabits stars streaking past, is in Earth's magnetic core, is in blood flow and resolve. And thank you. And I'll end with some encouraging notes, I hope. This is between tides. Winter shoulder, cusp of spring, pearly yarrow hour before bud break, before iris sepals fall in tongues of startling symmetry. Soft dreams slip through pores in the land, ready to store long nights. Raise rows of morning. Leave complications of approval. Hike to the old meadow. Vanished hunting ground, surrendered to pine-fringed rills. Chickadees chitter. Red-tailed hawks sweep through dug fir, buckeye above deer beds. Light showers stipple the nearby bay. We canoe in shallows close as falcons fly to the once haunted interior, slide beneath a willow canopy. Late winter leaves linger, sluice rivulets of rain to companion blades. Bright cascade, sailing cave not bereft. Between tides, breathing to the moon's slow pull, our hands on oars rest like sparrows. This is called tapetum lucidum, and that is the membrane behind the retina of nocturnal animals that reflects light back onto the retina so the animals at night can see better. And it's also why they have night vision. It's why they have night vision and also why their eyes glow. Tapetum lucidum. In a side chapel, hard chair seat, upright back, presses my scapulae, like a hair shirt forces its point. I think into the burning, focus on it. Slow breath, my ritual practice, though I'm lapsed everything. Blackbird outside juggles her voice. Near me a cough, stomach rumbles, floor wax scent rises to my nostrils. I begin to feel nothing of my blades. Breath in, out, unties my nerves, lowers my wings. Pain ganglia disperse from congregating in our village church, decommissioned to a community center. Steepled roof built to pierce and enter heaven, now open to all journeys, beyond reliance on architecture of a man's violated blood and fiber, beyond pinches of doled out indulgences, temporal, temporary, to a wordless communion, that May's flower moon returns more often than hunter's red, and a deer's evening eyeshine is a revelation surpassing glossaries and doctrine. I've got one more, maybe two. Thank you. This is a newer one. Immersed outside, weathering storms. Storms you worry into your heart recede with steps on a trail, away from the future, tense, conditional, what if, into wetlands at the edge of town. Easy foot rolls, compact planetesimals of silt, tawny dryness after back-to-back downpours keep you watching for the heron. Pewter spoon upright in shallow reeds, absorbed by the hunt, no linear clock hovers above water. This need for refuge, patience despite uncertainty. Bright sun spangles your view, blurs the finger bay that feeds in. Shoulder-high yellow fennel saturates air with anise, or if you like, licorice and honey. Foxtail barley bristles, brush seamless rustles in breezes, pausing you to watch as something small, quick, scurries under cover, gray-brown glimpse of motion, but no body you need see. Curl your fingers around the soft straps of your day pack, immersed outside yourself, slower back to the trailhead, passing the great, gray, still bird across the pond. You're invited. This was written during early days of COVID. You're invited. Come and join us, old friend, for sociable masked mingling on our sunny deck. Anna's Hummer will zip in for a deep chat with lemon blossoms, zig out by way of pink geraniums. We'll sangria toast evergreens, tracing ridge lines as we fit inside these moments, like spruce needles growing one by one around the same branch. Stories may tumble out, how we wriggled and squiggled on the ground as kids. No worries come darkly, will divide us, or stop jeweled foam curling on the bay. We'll ask how earthworms manage 5 hearts, looking after touch, taste, hearing, smell, and detecting tonic darkness, when holding our one intact is a daily grace and mystery. This will be our practice to celebrate reconnecting and impermanence of present maladies. Bless each other's company as invisible receptors around and in us shift from afternoon to evening, and see you very soon. Thank you.